I could stop history in its tracks, maybe I would. But I can't, Carson. You nor I can hold back time.
I was going to say, it was forever a bugbear of mine that people would sometimes spell Downton with a W, downtown. Did that ever crop up in your time?
In my sphere it does, because my brother still persists in calling it Downton Abbey. My brother! He's practically never watched the show himself, but anyway, he's got other fish to fry.
Really? He does it on purpose, maybe?
No, it's not quite his thing. He might have seen a couple of episodes, I don't know.
I guess it just doesn't necessarily roll off the tongue until you've watched it.
Yeah, but no, he still today calls it Downton Abbey. Okay. And I have to say to him, it's Downton. Oh, yeah, that's what I meant, Downton Abbey.
So can we rewind?
Yes, rewind.
So, do you remember first day on the set or anything like that? Those kind of moments?
First day on the set. I wonder
what
that...
anticipation.
Yeah, well, yeah, certainly we were anticipating something marvellous. And I remember one of the first mornings before we'd all properly started, and Hugh Bonneville sent us all a message, and it was a photograph of the snow on the ground just outside the castle and a few sheep meandering around, and saying, oh, first day of filming or something, and he sent this picture. So that was lovely. Yeah. But yeah, it was very exciting.
And could you see it, having sort of legs, I guess, to go?
Well, I thought that it ought to be quite good, because, there's Julian Fellowes, who's an Oscar-winning writer of Gosford Park, amongst other things as well, who's no slouch at the storylines and the characterizations. And I thought, and Dame Maggie Smith was part of the team. I thought, this is bound to be quite good, but never anticipating that it would become a bit of a global phenomena, if I can say that.
Well, it is, yeah, and I wonder, having had a history in shows, UK shows that may not have travelled beyond kind of Anglo territories. No. Mm-hmm. I wonder, there's also the cliche, there's the cliche of the way that English, are a bit more,
straight-laced.
Yeah, and the Americans are
buttoned up.
Yeah,
I know.
So have you had experience?
But they seem to,
that?
oh God, yeah. I mean, but they seem to love the fact that they seem to relate to our buttoned upness, in a way that you wouldn't imagine they would, because they're much more free and easy and
seemingly.
But you know what I mean. Yeah. So yes, that was a big shocker. And places like China, which is watched by about 65 million people or something like that, it just and it does make me wonder how across the board people from all different cultures and parts of the world seem to identify with it. It's a mystery.
But you must, when you read a script and you can...
I knew it was good. I knew it would have some degree of success. How much I didn't know, but
that human connection kind of thing.
Because the scripts were great, the characters were great. He tells a terrific story, and he tells it in a very entertaining way. So I was looking forward to getting started on it, but never realising that 6 years later I'd still be here talking about it.
I remember I once spoke to Julian, and he talked about kind of making the decision about doing a next season quite late in the day.
Well, we were commissioned to do 3 at the very beginning, but of course if it hadn't been much of a success or a flop, we wouldn't have gone. We might have gone for 2 seasons, and that might have been it. But of course, then when it got to the end of the 3rd season, we realised, it was a rip-roaring success, and so we were asked, do you want to do a 4th? And we said yes. And then the 4th came around, do you want to do a 5th? Yeah, we'll do a 5th. Okay, do you want to do a last one? And we all said yes. And, I mean, I would have gone on forever if it had been me.
Yeah. So there was that, do you want to do the last one? It was always going to be...
Well, it was always, we knew by the end of season 5 that the next one was going to be the last.
Yeah.
We knew that. And we'd all agreed that would be great to do a last one. And, and Julian felt that he didn't want people craving for us to finish rather than craving for us to go on. He'd rather it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And tell me, how was it working with such a huge ensemble for you?
Well, I mean, yes, it was and it was lovely actually to have so many diverse people, characters as well as their own characters, you know, the actual actors. I mainly worked, of course, with the downstairs team, and we became a happy band, having a good old laugh at Ealing Studios. Yeah, so I mean that was great, and I loved the big scenes where the set pieces, as we'd call them, where we were all grouped together either for a wedding or a funeral or New Year's Eve or Christmas or something. It was nice when upstairs and downstairs merged, and we all were part of one huge big set piece scene.
The ballet.
Yeah, we enjoyed that. Or Dame Keary to Kanawa, when she came, that was a wonderful time. Yeah. She and Dame Maggie used to sit playing bananagrams together with Penelope Wilton. Do you know bananagrams?
No.
It's a rather good game. It's tiles. It's like a set of tiles, and it comes in a bag shaped like a banana. That's why it's called bananagrams. But it's like Scrabble, but you do your own. No, it's like a crossword puzzle. Okay. So you make your own crossword puzzle up. You all get a set number of tiles, and then you have to shout "peel" when you've finished all your tiles, and you take another one. But everybody else has to take one too, and then it goes on like this. I mean, it sounds, and it's quick fire like that. Dame Maggie loves it. She's a big bananagram person. And she introduces everybody else to it. So her and Penelope Wilton and Dame Keary used to sit in their finery in between shots round this table in the dining room. Peel! Do all this. It was hilarious.
Like school camp or something, you know, because was it 6 month blocks or something?
6 months, yeah.
Yeah. So would it be something that was almost like...
Well, yeah, it was lovely. It was like being at school, but I mean, not that everybody loves school, but it was a bit like being at a really fun school where you would go off for 6, whatever many months in between seasons, and then you'd all come back together again, and you'd be looking forward to first day back at school with your new uniform, i.e. your new costume or your new wig or whatever, and ask them whatever, if you hadn't seen them during that time, ask them, you know, what they'd been up to and all the rest of it.
How was the last day of...
well, it was sad. I won't say otherwise. We had anticipated that it might be a little sad. Well, the female contingent more than the male, they were being all a bit bluff and saying, "Oh, don't be ridiculous, it's just like any other job." Yeah, it'll be sad, but come on, it's like any other job. You know, you finish and you go off and blah, blah, blah. But when it came to the last day, because a good many of us finished on the last day, and we were actually... one of the last shots in season 6 was our last day when we're all in the servants' hall singing Auld Lang Syne, and that gets you going as it is, without, you know, the fact that you know this is going to be your final shot on Downton Abbey ever. So we sang the song, and then it was cut. Okay, that's a wrap on Jim Carter, Phyllis, Raquel, Kevin Doyle, whoever, Leslie Nichol. And we were all wrapped, and that was us finished. And Jim Carter stepped forward just to say how great it had all been and spoke on behalf of us all. And looked to the corner and saw a couple of the crew sobbing in each other's arms. These 2 blokes, part of the crew, were absolutely, you know, dripping. And so he looked and caught their and choked up, eyes welled up. And I thought, oh my God, Jim's gone. We're all going to go. And sure enough, yes, there were tears.
Obviously, you played a member of the Downstairs, and what's your... I mean, English society's kind of, you know, well known for having that as part of, you know, their story, I guess, you know. Like, did you have any exposure growing up to Downstairs?
Not at all. I was very much in the Downstairs camp. You know, I was very much from a working class background.
Okay.
And with no access to posh houses or people with servants, you know. So.
And what made you want to act?
I don't know really. I suppose it was the only thing that remotely interested me when I was at school. I was part of the drama club. I was part of the film-going club. I was part, everything to do with it, I extracurricular, that is. And English was my favourite subject. I love making up stories and language. So I suppose, without fully realising that that's what I wanted to do or would be able to do, coming from this very small town, working class background, and nobody went into acting from my world, you know. But it was, I suppose, a friend who said, well, why don't you try for drama school? And I thought, oh, well, I might just give it a go. And anyway, and then I did and got accepted, and that was it.
And has Downton Abbey, like, is it rolled on in terms of, you know, giving you other opportunities, do you think?
Well, I suppose so. I mean, it's been great because things like this, you know, they say, would you want to come out to Sydney and promote this or do whatever? I'm like, yes, please, thank you. And people, you know, whereas they might not have known who the hell you were or what you'd been in before, because of Downton Abbey, they do now, just because they do, because it's watched by so many people. Yeah. So it is a bit of a calling card, I must say, which is nice.
And you wouldn't have any dramas doing another series that would go on for like 6 years? How did you feel about? You know,
No. Well, I thought it was going to be 3, and then it turned into 6, which you know I think it's great. I was very grateful for that, and it was fantastic, and I loved every minute of it. And I have in the past done long-running show. In fact, it was longer than. Well, actually, no, it wasn't. I did more episodes of this particular thing, but that was a long time ago. But I'm thinking, you know, there's not much time left on my calendar for cramming in 6 years here and 6 years there. You know, I could do another 3 and then I'd have to retire.
No, I hope not. Thanks so much for your time, Phyllis.
Not at all. Nice to talk to you.
You too.